the partners.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to ask the Minister of Public Safety some questions, a question, I guess, on the topic of the Disaster Financial Assistance Program for many rural New Brunswickers that have experienced a lot of damage, lost a lot of goods, and a lot of their livelihood to the storm. Mr. Speaker, in the past, with previous storms, the program has been set up and launched within days and a week or two. But we've waited now almost 80 days. It'll be 80 days tomorrow since this storm happened, Mr. Speaker, and still not a peep. Still not a peep. The answer yesterday that the minister gave, I echo his sentiments about how well the response was there to get the roads open. The emergency people were there. Members from EMO were at their doors asking them to register. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to know today, will there be a program for the people of New Brunswick, southern and central New Brunswick, to apply for to register their disaster assistance needs?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And again, I appreciate the question from the member opposite. Our first priority, Mr. Speaker, is helping New Brunswick safely recover from these events, to reoccupy their homes and their businesses, and we'll continue to that. Again, I was honored to receive a call from the member opposite from King Centre, I believe, and also the member from Sunbury, New Maryland, Sunbury. Immediately, myself and the Minister of DTI went out to their areas, because at that time people were in dire straits. An event took place, a heavy rainfall that washed out roads, compromised bridges, and we didn't want to put politics into this at all. We immediately took action, hired people right away to work on the roads, to start construction of the bridges, to help New Brunswickers to get to stores, to get to hospitals if need be. And we will continue to that. There's always a process in place, and we've had good communication with the member opposite, and we'll continue to do so.
Member for New Maryland, Sunbury.
Mr. Speaker, when the lives of New Brunswickers and their pocketbooks are at stake, there is no politics involved at all, Mr. Speaker. I'm only asking the question, will there be an opportunity for these people to register? I agree. The ministers, and more than one minister, visited our areas. But that's not the answer to the question, Mr. Speaker. So let's take the politics out of it, and let's stand up. The minister is a great fellow. I've known him a long time. I know a lot of his family members. Good upbringing. Good member of Oromocto. But we need to know, what are the answers for these people that have had to pay out of their pocket, that have lost livestock, their livelihood, feed for their livestock, vehicles, houses. People have lost houses. Mr. Speaker, 80 days is way too long to start the process of applications. That should have been done weeks ago. So we need to know now, will there be a program? Have we met the thresholds in this province for a program?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad that the opposition agrees that where this type of severe damages, that politics should not be a criteria of how we react to this situation. I want to thank the member opposite that got up in the last few days, congratulating and saying thank you for the hard work that this government has done in reaction of. I want to remind the members, and certainly New Brunswickers, that there was over 58 roads and areas that was damaged over about 24 hours. And today I'm happy to say there's only about 6 that needs to be repaired. And I know that there's some houses and some private properties that was damaged. And the inventory is being gathered and work is being done. But the damage of September 30th storm was over $15 million, and we are certainly gathering all the information, making sure that all the right process is followed, and then we'll see what happens then.
I fully understand that a large percentage of the roads have been fixed, and so do regular New Brunswickers. They appreciate that. But if these members on the opposite side, on the government side, are in this job for a thank you, they're in the wrong line of work, folks. They're in the wrong line of work, because the thank yous are few and far between. I'll tell you that right now. People of my riding, people of the riding of King Centre, Gagetown, Petitcodiac, have lost a considerable amount of their personal assets right now, and they've had to pay out of their own pocket to have those replaced, Mr. Speaker. Right now at Christmas time especially, they still wonder, they want to know, who is holding up this process? Is it because they live in opposition ridings that the process has been held up? Well, Mr. Speaker, the minister says that they're still gathering information. But, Mr. Speaker, I have an email right here that says, I can confirm that this is in the queue and we expect the government decision very shortly. When will it happen?
The Honourable Premier.
It's unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. There was a good dialogue happening on the floor of the legislature until that last question. For the member opposite, to make a political accusation saying that we would not help the families that have been affected by this because they would be in an opposition riding is completely false. And, Mr. Speaker, it's not appreciated.
The member for New Maryland Sunbury will come to order.
Mr. Speaker, as was said, we were having a good dialogue before that last question. I think it's unfortunate. And what's odd, Mr. Speaker, in the question, he said that the roads have been fixed. So our government has been reacting to this terrible situation right away, Mr. Speaker. He's saying that, looking at emails, I believe he's quoting, that we're on this, Mr. Speaker, and that there will be something to move forward with shortly. But, Mr. Speaker, I have to point out that the opposition supported the Harper government when they made changes that would make more fiscal burden come on the province when it came to disaster financial assistance.
Final warning.
Why would the member opposite not have spoken then when the Harper government was making it harder for us to help families in New Brunswick when there was a disaster, Mr.
Time.
Speaker?
The member